Many family businesses in the United States fall apart during the transition from one generation to the next. It's rarely because the business itself is weak, it's usually because the handover is unprepared. Well, this transition becomes even harder when no one talks openly about expectations, and before families realize it, the damage is already done. Passing on a business isn't just an operational task, it's an emotional journey for the whole family. Founders often struggle to let go because the business feels like a part of their identity. Meanwhile, the next generation may feel unheard, unprepared, or unsure how to step in. These emotional tensions quietly influence every decision that should have been purely strategic. A family business is much like a classic American truck, strong, durable, and built to last. But even the toughest truck needs proper care before it's handed to the next driver. If the original driver never explains how to maintain it, the next one may damage it without even realizing it. That's exactly what happens in many generational transitions. This issue matters now more than ever because so many first-generation entrepreneurs and immigrant families in the U.S. are reaching this critical moment. They've spent decades building something meaningful. And now the question is, will it survive beyond them without a proper transition? Families risk losing the legacy they worked so hard to create. If you stepped away tomorrow, even for just 1 month, would your business actually survive? Imagine the doors opening without you there. Imagine decisions being made without your guidance. Most family businesses discover the truth only when it's too late. And that's why this question matters right now. Hi everyone, I'm Lena, and welcome to the Biz Mastery channel. Master your business, master your future. I'm here to help you build something that lasts beyond your lifetime. And today's topic is one many families avoid, even though it affects their entire legacy. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the Biz Mastery channel for more practical, clear, and human-centered business insights. Every week, we help entrepreneurs like you take control of their future one lesson at a time. And just a quick reminder, everything in this video is for education only. This isn't formal legal advice or financial instruction, but it will absolutely help you make better decisions for your family business. Stay with me, because in this video, you're going to learn the biggest mistakes 90% of family businesses make during succession. And more importantly, you'll learn the simple, practical steps to avoid falling into those same traps. This is your chance to protect the legacy your family worked so hard to build. In today's video, secrets to successfully passing on your business, the 90% mistakes made by family businesses. You'll see exactly what most families get wrong and what you must do differently starting today. Pay attention, take notes, and apply what fits your situation. One of the biggest reasons family businesses fail during transition is simple. There's no clear roadmap. The next generation is expected to take over without knowing when or how, without guidance. The entire handover becomes confusing and emotionally draining for everyone. This mistake happens in families of all sizes, from small shops to large companies. Imagine handing over a classic American truck without ever explaining the manual. The new driver may be eager, but they have no idea how the engine behaves, how sensitive the steering is, or what to avoid. This is exactly what happens in many families. The successor receives the business, but not the wisdom behind it. The result is frustration, mistakes, and unnecessary pressure. Founders often delay the conversation because it feels emotional and overwhelming. Meanwhile, the next generation waits quietly, unsure when they are supposed to step in. Important decisions and rules remain undocumented, leaving everyone guessing. Over time, the lack of clarity creates tension that affects both the family and the business. The best way to avoid this is surprisingly simple. Create a one-page succession roadmap. Just one page that explains rules, responsibilities, and the timeline for transition. Families that document their plan experience smoother handovers and fewer conflicts. It's a small, step that protects decades of hard work. Poor communication is one of the biggest silent killers in family businesses. Many families avoid important conversations because they fear conflict or hurting each other's feelings. But the truth is, silence creates far more damage than honesty ever does. Without clear dialogue, everyone ends up making assumptions, and assumptions almost always lead to tension. Most successors assume they know the founder's vision, but often they only understand half of it, and founders believe the family already knows their expectations. Even though nothing was ever said clearly, this gap grows silently over the years until misunderstanding becomes a real threat. Which should be teamwork turns into confusion without anyone realizing how it started. One of the biggest traps is when important decisions stay undocumented. Families assume everyone remembers, or worse, that everyone agrees. But without written clarity, conversations can shift, memories can differ, and intentions can be misinterpreted. Documentation doesn't make things rigid. It makes things safe. A simple monthly family business talk can change everything. Just one meeting where expectations are spoken clearly, progress is shared openly, and concerns are addressed with honesty. Families who make this a habit experience less conflict and stronger teamwork. Communication is the bridge that keeps the business united through every generation. One of the most common mistakes is assuming the next generation will figure it out on their own. In reality, most successors feel overwhelmed because they never receive proper training. They are handed responsibility before being handed experience, and without guidance, even the most talented successor can struggle to lead with confidence. Many founders forget that learning takes time. The next generation needs real exposure to both daily operations and long-term strategy. They need to see how problems are solved, how decisions are made, and how relationships are built. Without hands-on mentorship, they are left guessing, and guessing is not leadership. A common issue is that successors rarely see the real challenges behind the business. They may understand the surface-level tasks, but never experience pressure, negotiation, or crisis management. When the tough moments finally arrive, they feel unprepared. Preparation is not about knowledge alone, it's about experience, exposure, and emotional readiness. A simple training structure can solve this problem. Mentorship sessions, role rotations, and real responsibility step by step. When successors grow gradually into their role, they build confidence rooted in understanding, not fear. Families who invest in preparation create leaders capable of carrying the business far into the future. Good preparation turns uncertainty into legacy. One of the most dangerous traps in family businesses is letting personal emotions influence business decisions. Old arguments and resolve childhood issues, or favoritism can shape choices that should be based on strategy, not feelings. When emotions lead the way, even strong businesses can drift off course. And the worst part, most families don't even realize it's happening. Family conflicts don't stay at home, they follow everyone into the boardroom. A disagreement between siblings can turn a simple meeting into a battlefield. And when decisions become personal, the business loses clarity and direction. Instead of discussing what's best for the company, conversations shift toward who wins and who loses. Sometimes, founders make decisions based on guilt or obligation instead of capability. They may choose the child who needs the job rather than the one most prepared to lead. This creates resentment on both sides and weakens the company's long-term stability. A leadership role should be earned, never handed out as emotional compensation. To avoid this trap, families need clear boundaries between personal emotions and business responsibilities. Create rules for decision-making, define expectations for every role, and keep evaluations objective. When the family respects the system, the business becomes stronger and relationships become healthier too. A major reason family businesses collapse is the lack of financial transparency. When numbers are unclear, trust begins to fade, and confusion quickly grows. Many families avoid talking about money because it feels uncomfortable. But that silence creates even bigger problems without clarity. The business becomes vulnerable to misunderstanding and mismanagement. When financial information is hidden or inconsistent, family members start making assumptions. Some may feel others are taking more than they should, while others believe they are being kept out of important decisions. Miscommunication about money often triggers deeper emotional conflicts, and once trust is damaged, it becomes difficult to repair. Another big mistake is mixing personal expenses with business finances. When boundaries blur, accountability disappears, and accurate reporting becomes impossible. This not only confuses the successors, but also creates serious issues during succession. Clear separation is essential if the business is expected to survive another generation. The solution is to establish transparent systems everyone can understand, set clear rules, keep clean records, and share financial updates regularly. When the family sees the same numbers, trust grows stronger, and decisions become easier. Transparency doesn't just protect the business, it protects the relationships holding the business together. When roles and responsibilities are clearly defined, every family member interprets their job differently. One person thinks they're in charge of operations, while another believes they are the decision maker. This creates confusion, overlaps, and sometimes power struggles. A business cannot grow when everyone is steering in a different direction. Without clarity, even simple tasks turn into disagreements. People step on each other's responsibilities without meaning to. Things get done twice or don't get done at all. This not only slows down the business, but also damages relationships. What should be teamwork becomes frustration. Some families avoid defining rules because they worry it will create tension. But unclear expectations create far more conflict in the long run. Clear rules don't limit creativity, they create structure that helps everyone succeed. Knowing who does what makes collaboration smoother and decision-making faster. To fix this, create a simple role and responsibility chart. One page is enough to create alignment and eliminate confusion. When everyone knows exactly what they own, the business moves faster and with more confidence. Clear rules are not just structure, they are respect in action. Every business, just like a classic truck, needs constant care to survive the new and unpredictable roads ahead. Many families forget that even the strongest engines need updates to keep running smoothly. When a business refuses to evolve, it becomes slower than the world moving around it. That's when cracks begin to appear, often without anyone realizing it. One of the biggest problems begins when the older generation refuses to adapt to changing markets. They often feel their traditional methods have worked for decades, so why change now? But the world outside moves faster than ever, and refusing to adjust can quietly weaken the business without realizing it. The company gets left behind by more agile competitors. Meanwhile, the younger generation often feels stuck because they aren't given space to bring new ideas. They see opportunities and innovations the business could pursue, but their suggestions are ignored or minimized. This creates frustration and emotional distance between generations. If not addressed, it slowly chips away at trust and motivation. When neither side moves, the business slowly becomes stagnant. Fear of trying new things keeps everyone stuck in the same routine, even when they know change is necessary. Stagnation is dangerous because it feels safe, but it quietly kills progress. That's why the family must create a future readiness checklist to prepare the business for tomorrow's challenges. Let's take a quick moment to recap the 7 major mistakes family businesses must avoid. Each one may seem small, but over time they can shape the future of your entire legacy. Remember, awareness is the first step to prevention. When you understand these patterns, you gain the power to break them. Here's the truth: your family business absolutely can survive and grow as long as you prepare for the future intentionally. Success doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you build the right systems and habits. Every family that plans wins more than they lose, and your business could be next. If this video brought you value, make sure to like it, subscribe, and share it with someone who's navigating a family business. Your support helps this message reach more people who need it. Every click makes a difference, and it keeps this channel growing to help more families like yours. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the biggest challenge your family faces when passing down the business? Share your story in the comments. I personally read everyone. Let's create a space where families can learn from each other. This is Lena from Biz Mastery. Master your business, master your future. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Take care, stay intentional, and keep building a legacy that lasts beyond you. I'll see you in the next video.